chef de mission, chef means the chief, like chief of operation, not the chef as in French, like cook. And if you're confused about what the chef does, don't worry, so was the hiring committee. So I went through 2 full rounds, the entire process, and even though I'd been tapped for the job, I actually didn't get the position. I lost 4-2 to another great candidate. But the chair of that hiring committee noticed that the 2 votes that I got were from the former chef de mission and the chief sport officer, the 2 roles that really rotate around this particular job. So thankfully, they took it to another round of interviews, and through that process, I became the chef de mission. But come on, this is the person leading the Olympic team abroad. And we don't know what the role is? Over half the hiring committee doesn't know what that is? That's a challenge. This kind of matters. But I thought this is an amazing opportunity, and actually my legacy from that role, part of it was to define the role going forward so that this didn't happen again, and we made sure to align and get the right people, hopefully, in the job. So I tracked my hours like a good accountant or lawyer or consultant. I put in 1,079 hours over 2 years without travel. Did I tell you it's volunteer? I found that my duties were mostly in 4 kind of categories: leadership and ambassador, and mentor and cheerleader. And in the first 18 months of the job, first almost 2 years in the job, just till I got to the games, 70% of the time was leader and ambassador. And at the games, that flipped entirely to 70% cheerleader and mentor. But I couldn't have been good here without this foundation here, because cheerleader meant something. When the chef de mission shows up at your event, the athletes notice, and it's important. The mentor side was also very important. Because of the mentorship, I was usually the first person on site when that dream didn't come true. So it's wonderful to celebrate the ceremony. The tough ones are the 5th, the 7th, the knocked out in the 2nd round. That's when the mentor came in. But at least going forward, we knew what the job was. And I could define it clearly, and in 2016, Kurt Harnett became an amazing next leg of this sort of chef de mission team for Team Canada. The only thing that kind of bugged me about Kurt being chef was that he took those 4 duties and he turned it into an acronym, and I love that kind of stuff. If anybody's seen Great Traits, you know I live for that sort of stuff. So he took cheerleader, ambassador, leader, and mentor and made it calm. And so his team in Rio kept saying, we're going to be calm, we're going to be calm, which is really ironic, because for me in 2016, I was anything but. So I was down in the Rio Olympics as an analyst for CBC. And a couple months before the Olympics, they brought the entire CBC Olympic team together for an offsite, a couple days together. Lots of interesting information, of course, traveling to Brazil, but mostly it was how to be on air, especially for people like me that don't have a journalistic background but are going to be representing CBC. And the biggest thing is that we have to be neutral. We're not cheerleaders. We're not allowed to go, yay, Canada. We have to go, Team Canada did this, not we. So it's always that distance, which I thought I was going to do really, really well at. And then this happened.
It's been a surprising night out at the Olympic Aquatics Stadium. That's the first medal for a Canadian woman in swimming since 1996. Marianne Limpert in Atlanta won a silver medal in the 200 IM. And I wonder if former swimmers ever get excited about what's happening in the pool today. How about Olympic champion from 1992, Mark Tewksbury, who was here earlier? Here's his reaction as he watched in our Someday space that result.
Yes. Come on. Yes. Thank you. So I was fired the next day. No, actually, So first of all, embrace contradictions. So to my defense, I didn't know it was being filmed. So I was in the studio, and there wasn't enough time to get to the pool to see the race. So there was this little sort of portable that acted as our green room, and it was called the Someday Space. And they had the CBC feed in there. So I ran in there to watch the race. And you see me turning, it's the social media intern who was watching me do this. And about 3 minutes in, she thought, this would be really good footage. So she posted it, had over 1 million views, went through the roof. But get this. CBC embraced contradictions and changed their whole approach. So you see, I made it on the main network with that reaction. Get this, they actually went as far as having my colleague in week 2, Donovan Bailey, come in and react on tape to Andre de Grasse to try to reenact and recreate what had happened with Penny and I, which are all really great and cool, except no one went back to thank Gabriella Cook, the social media intern whose idea it was in the first place. No one thanked her, no one acknowledged her. How do you think her morale was by the end of the Olympics? Leadership matters. It shapes the culture around us. If you want a good culture, acknowledge, thank, and recognize your people. If you don't, it speaks for itself.